Hey folks, welcome back. Well, I've got this 1996 Chevrolet Tahoe in here. It's been in a few other videos that I've had some wiring issues and this, that, and the other. Um, Sometimes it's a little hard to believe, but this thing's got 89,000 miles on the clock. I've been doing a fair amount of work with this thing, and a lot of it's just, age-related types of things. And just the fact that, things are original, have just never been replaced before. We got an engine miss on this thing that I've been trying to track down. It always shows up in cylinder number 2, which is the first cylinder over here on this side. And most of the time you feel it when at like light throttle and you got more engine load on it, let's say 4th gear, torque converter, lockup type deal. But you can get this thing to actually miss and act up really good if you just put your foot on the brake, put it in gear, and just rev the engine up a little bit to about 13, 14, 1500 RPM or so. You can get it to act up and miss pretty consistently. But it is sort of intermittent in a way too, because there's been a couple of things we decided to go ahead and do. And that was do the upgrade to the spider injection fuel injection system, which takes this out and has an individual injector in each one of these ports, goes in there, and that's just a good upgrade to do anyways. Buy an AC Delco one and install it, and away you go. The other thing too I've done is replace this distributor. You can see, I don't know if you, or maybe you can't, I don't know, how really kind of worn these gear teeth are on here, and that could cause some, a little bit too much slop and everything like that. And it just seemed like, well, it worked for a while, and then it go back to missing, and then it go away, and then go back to missing again. Hence this video, because I wanted to bring you along with what I just found, and maybe this is what's going on with your car or pickup, if it happens to be. But see this main wiring harness right here, and how this one seems to be resting right here on top of the I guess that EGR pipe. See how it's been rubbing all the way through. It's rubbed off the this insulation here. Bet you're going to find some issues wrong with that. So I'm going to get this wire harness, I'm going to get it unplugged from over here on this side and try to bring it out here where you can actually see it, because I think there's some issues with the wiring there. Okay, to get a little bit better access into here, this, to see this deal and get this wiring harness, rotated around, I just removed and just rolled over the AC compressor out of the way, along with, taking the intake off. But can we see where we've got some issues right here and some bare wire? One of them's actually completely just broke in half. It's been doing this for a long time. I'm gonna be able to clean so I can get a little bit better view. Alright, so I got these cleaned and got it dug out a little bit more. We've got 2 wires here that are just completely worn, severed across. And then we got a few of them right here that are just bare, and a couple orange colored wires here. We've got these green. We can go in and look at the wire schematic and see if we can be able to figure out if any of these have something to do with the injectors and all that stuff, or the wiring in here, which is now injectors per se. I will tell you that we had this is kind of a lesson learned for me a little bit. It's a lesson I knew, but I didn't follow the lesson how I've learned it in the past, because I thought I was just out of time, but here I am spending more time with this thing. You can see I got another wire ran right here we have another video about this idle air control motor right here not functioning correctly. Had this thing, you know, running at a really high idle, and this wire was open. And as you can see, I haven't really confirmed this yet, but I think this is one of them right here. So had I have taken the time to find where the problem between this idle air control motor, this connector here, versus the connector where it goes into the computer right there, had I have taken the time to figure out where the wire was actually broken at, I could have found this and would have had this other problem fixed, most likely. So that's why it's always best to if you got a broken wire somewhere, or bad wire somewhere, it's really the best thing to do is to actually find it, because there's obviously other issues going on. You can see where this is rubbed right there, and I have no idea. I don't work on enough of these to know that if that like a factory location of where that is, because that gets to be a problem later on, and I have no idea. All I can say is this one did it, and it only has 90,000 miles on it, so pretty sure one with a lot more miles can do it just as good. So anyways, we're gonna get these, we're gonna go into a wiring schematic and check out and see what some of these wires operate and everything like that. I'm assuming that some of these orange wires actually are right in here, that go right in, straight in here for this fuel injection system. I'm pretty sure that's where our problem lies. So let's keep on going. Okay, I don't know how well you're gonna be able to tell, but like this wire right here is a light green with a black tracer on it, which is one of the ones that was damaged and sitting there grounding out on the that EGR tube. And then also, if you remember, I told you this thing usually always shows up with cylinder number 2 as the culprit that's missing. Most of the time, I mean, that's usually the one that's always there when you're using the misfire counters with looking at it on a scanner. Fuel injector number 2, light green with a black tracer, goes all the way. So if we follow that way across, injector number 2 control. Yeah, so pretty much I think we found our problem. So what we need to do is, you know, get any of these bad wires in here repaired, get this all tied up where it can't do this again, and you know, we should have our problem fixed. You know, like I said, I don't know if this is, you know, where that thing was laying across there, if that's a factory location, or if at some point this thing had been worked on and things got moved around. But it's kind of akin to the type of deal we see on the 7.3 liter Power Stroke engines, where you have the main wiring harness come in about, you know, over here, and the little bracket gets bent over time, and the wires sit there and they rub on the valve cover and they rub through, and it causes all kinds of engine running and drivability problems and all that kind of stuff. So I'm assuming that this probably is, you know, if that's a factory location or pretty close to it, this has been doing this for a long time, so that could be a common deal. If not, well, check it and make sure. Got to check the wiring. Where I messed up on this whole deal was because I could have had this thing all fixed in one shot had I have taken the time to search and look for that wire rather than just running a new wire across there. Sometimes that's more plausible to do depending on location and all that kind of stuff. In this case, no, it would have been good for me to spend the time to figure out exactly where that wire goes, because one of these wires that's broken right here is this wire which is one of the wires, one of the 4 wires that runs to the idle air control motor or actuator, whatever you want to call it. So yeah, anytime you find any kind of issues like that, always the best to do. I knew that. I just didn't take the time to do it, and I wouldn't say that I got burnt, but I got, you know, where this thing was coming back. I mean, this isn't a customer's vehicle. I own this thing, but at the same time, still, this could have been a comeback, you know, had it have been a customer's vehicle and all that kind of stuff. So basically, you know, I usually give the option, hey, you know, you want to pay me a little extra time to try to find where the wire is bad, or I can just run a new wire here. Most of the time people just say, yeah, just run a new wire and everything like that. I do say, well, you know, if that one wire has a problem, which one of these did, when you find that spot, a lot of times you find other wires that are going to pose a problem, which is exactly, in this case, that's exactly what happened. So anyways, I hope this can help you out, and thanks for watching.